Okay, it's 10 a.m. here in Grenada and 2 p.m. in the UK. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you all. Thank you for those who had asked the questions beforehand to me. Got another 10 questions here by Pa Ward. Pa Ward is the man behind the Team Fury official website, so shout out to him. So he had 10 questions he wanted me to answer, and I'm going to get through them as best as I can. First question from Pa. He asks, have I ever boxed? Yes, I've boxed before. Boxed as an amateur, down on the south coast, Brighton, Sussex. But my career was brought short to an end because of something called chronic fatigue syndrome. Struggled with it for 7 years. Took the best part of my boxing away. Was in the same gym with Barry Jones, the former WBO super featherweight champion of the world, and I was actually in training when Barry was preparing for his fight against Acelino de Freitas. So, how do I go about getting interviews? Good question. How have I gone about getting interviews? I guess I've gone and asked people on Twitter. I've tweeted people. I've sent emails. Actually, the emails haven't been so successful. So Twitter and going through Facebook, I found Facebook very successful. A lot of the interviews have been via Facebook and Twitter. And because I'm based in the Caribbean, the way I'm doing the interviews are via Skype. My favourite interview. What's my favourite interview? Asks. That's a tough one. I mean, when you ask favourite, that's got to be specific. Why? Then you ask why. So why is my favourite? I think they're all interviews I've enjoyed. I can't say I've got a favourite at the moment. They're all good interviews. I have to say the Tyson Fury interviews are very funny. The Bashir interview, James Ali Bashir interviews are very informative. The Ava Knight interview was my first female boxer. Talking to Emily Pandalakis, it was the first boxing publicist I've spoken to. Talking to Steve Goodwin, boxing promoter. It's really good insight in that. Don Charles, boxing trainer as well. Oh, a host of them. Malik Scott, I got to know more about, a fighter that at the first I didn't know much about. And that was really great. Daily Star, a fighter that's on his way up. It's got, hasn't got much of a great exposure, but it was great to get the interview with him. Brian Jennings, his interview, somebody I really enjoyed talking to, somebody that I wanted to know more about. Got the interview, so there's so many I could go on about. So I can't really say a favourite interview, but they've all been pretty good. There's ones I've liked more than others, but I'm not going to tell you who they are. Okay. What two fighters do you think would have the best all-British fight in today's boxing? Good question. Well, I'm a guy that likes entertainment. I love entertainment. And I love guys that can talk. I think I've done it before. So for me, today, in Britain, it's got to be Tyson Fury versus David Haye. Both talkers. Both have pretty high profiles. Haye's known notoriously for the fight against Klitschko, unfortunately. But he's got a great following in the UK. And of course you've got Tyson Fury, so never short of a word or two. So I think that'd be a great fight. I think currently now that'd be a great fight. The middleweight division would be interesting with Barker, Macklin, Murray. But the fact that Sergio Martinez has beaten Barker and Macklin, and then there's Murray to come, and he may beat Murray too. I don't know. It hasn't got the same thing. Frampton, Quigg, it's okay, but you're talking exposure there. They haven't got the same sort of exposure as Tyson Fury and David Haye. So David Haye, Tyson Fury would be the fight for me. Favourite fight of all time? Oh, I don't know. Favorite fight of all time? I don't know about favorite fight of all time, but favorite fights? Yeah, Morales, Barrera, toe-to-toe action, back and forth. Any Holyfield fight where he struggles. Ben Eubank, the first one. Oh my god, I just love fights. Grudge matches. I love grudge matches. There's something about grudge matches that gives you an edge, you know, back and forth. And fighters where, you know, it sounds bad, but fighters, favourite fighters where they're fighters you just don't like. Fighters that just talk a hell of a lot, can't fight, and get knocked out. That sounds really bad, but they're favourite fights. Fights that you go back and you play again, and you play it and you think, ooh, ooh. You see them go over, ooh. Sorry, that's terrible, but you asked for my opinion. So I'd say they're terrible, the favourite fights. But Barrera, Morales, Gatti, Ward. Just wars. Wars and De La Hoya, Vargas, the whole back, you know, the whole talk behind that. Mayorga, De La Hoya. I love that fight as well. Foreman Mora. You know, Michael Mora was considered the man to beat George Foreman. George Foreman comes back, wins the world heavyweight title. So I think, yeah, fights like that. Let's see what else. How long have I been doing BaylorIC TV? That's a good question. BaylorIC TV has evolved because BaylorIC. Let me explain very quickly what BaylorIC is. Baylor. Well, I've been doing cricket coaching for many years, and I realised that despite getting a lot of press in the UK, you know, I won the National Community Champion back in 2010, 11. That was on Sky, but I never ever felt I got the support, really recognition that I felt I deserved. And you know, I love boxing anyway, so I just did boxing predictions via. I just did blogs, and from the blogs that turned into video blogging. I couldn't be bothered to do the typing all the time, and then from there we are where we are now. It's evolved, and it's going to evolve again come this Saturday. So I think BaylorIC's been around a few years, at least since 2010. So I'd say about 3 years. So we've from cricket to boxing, and of course it's followed me through. So yeah, I'd say about 3 years. Who's your inspiration? Wow, who's my inspiration? There's a few inspirations. God, but they're all, yeah, you know, Nelson Mandela, Barack Obama, Sugar Ray Robinson. I love Sugar Ray Robinson's story because of what he did. He not just did things inside the ring, but outside the ring. I love the story about him building a community and giving them jobs. I love that. That story is brilliant. There's so many others. People that have come against adversity. Anybody who comes against adversity and overcomes, they're an inspiration to me. Because obviously you can see they give you hope that you can come through things. So yeah, they're inspirations, definitely. And then, I guess, it sounds a bit weird for that. I like Prince, the artist, as an inspiration. A bit weird, some people would say, but I actually was fortunate. 1990 Nude Tour, Prince was in, I believe it was Wembley. Still got the mark of it on my hand somewhere. I've got the scar tissue there. Oh, you can see it, but there's a scar in here. In 1990, Prince was on tour, and he pointed me out in the audience, and I've still got the tambourine today. One day I'll do a video on it. He threw a tambourine out to me, and he threw his towel out to me. Inspiring. It was inspirational. I mean, I was always a Prince fan, a guy who did things his own way, and always done his things his own way. Independent, free of mind and free thinking. A lot of people have a problem with that, but Prince is unique, and is definitely an inspiration to me as well. So, yeah. Non-boxing inspiration, that was. First famous person I've ever interviewed. That's a good one. Famous. That's, well, it depends, because the interviews I've done now, 2 or 3 years from now, that person could become very famous. I think Steve Redgrave would be up there. The who was the greatest Olympic champion. I think either in the UK or worldwide, but he was the greatest Olympic champion. Would be one of them. Yeah, I think so. But there's more to come, and hopefully, I think, you know, I'd like to get some more interviews. I think we're getting there, slowly but surely. So, famous, I don't think I interview people for fame. I think I interview more than for the story. So, if they happen to be successful and the media have got the spotlight on them, fine. But I don't know. I think you'd have to decide that one. Who do I like most like to interview? Wow, glad you asked that question. There are obvious people I like to interview. The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, love to interview him. I still find him the most electrifying man in sports entertainment, without a shadow of a doubt. The way he's able to control the audience, be successful not only just in wrestling but in the movies. He seems a real cool dude. You don't have anything bad in the press about him. Love to interview him. Barack Obama, would love to interview him. Love to hear his inside story about his life, and how he's made it, and the trouble, or the struggles he has being a black man at the top of his game in America. You know, some people like it, some people hate it. Would love to see how he deals with that and keeps his cool. There's very few people you can ask what's it like to be Mr. President, so I'd love to ask him. Nelson Mandela, love to talk to him. Sugar Ray Robinson, would love to talk to him. Wow, there's so many people. Idris Elba, Christopher Reeve, Stephen Amell, if you're watching this, the guy from Arrow, great actor. Think he's doing fantastic with the Arrow character. Would love to interview him. There's loads of other people I'd love to interview, but you know, I'm trying to answer these questions and sort of like there more come to mind. I think we've come to the end of his questions. Question number 10 is: Would I mention the website teamfuryboxing.com on your next video? Well, I've just mentioned it. People who are looking at the interview or looking at this video, check out teamfuryboxing.com. Pa Ward is the man behind it, doing some great stuff. Getting exclusive footage of Tyson Fury and Team Fury. Yeah, exclusive footage. But yeah, so if you want to know more about Team Fury, check out the website teamfury.com. I will leave the information down below, and that's about it for now. Hope you enjoyed the 10 questions with Pa Ward. Nice questions, Pa. Put me under a bit of pressure. Loved it. And I will answer more questions. Got a big interview, major interview to do today with somebody I've always wanted to interview. So exciting times. Chat soon. Bye bye.